Hey, this is Notser, and today we're taking a look at a ranked game with a very familiar scenario. How do you recover when teammates throw their ships away? It's one of those things that every single player has to deal with in rank, and some do it better than others. And I want to share my thought process so that you might be able to take that and use it as a building block, a first step into designing your own strategy for dealing with situations similar. Now, I'm in the Tier 10 American Heavy Cruiser Des Moines, and I am running my legendary module, and it is godlike. And I'm sick, so apologies if the audio is weird or sniffly or whatever. I'm just trying to get through this so that I can go to bed. But initially, take stock of the enemy's deployment. Now, we had, conveniently, an aircraft carrier, which will give you free information about the enemy's deploy. This isn't something that normally is easily accessible in rank. Usually the one or two token DDs, they have no interest moving forward because they could round the corner and run into radar, or an enemy DD, or an enemy aircraft carrier doing crazy things. But because I have an aircraft carrier, I know that the enemy's deploy is an A-B strat. Because there's only 7 ships, I mean, if there was an 8th ship, that would be broken as hell. But because the friendly aircraft carrier scouted all 7 enemy ships, this is 100% safe for me. And that's why we went and took C aggressively. I did not stop. I did not ask for permission. I went towards it. I didn't want to wait another second without capturing a free base. So try and take as much as you can once you have confirmation. Where I would caution you is if you don't have confirmation. No, maybe you don't have an aircraft carrier in your game. Maybe you're just battleships and cruisers. And you're trying to play the game. Well, you're going to try and play the game in the most inefficient way, but you still have to try and take the little advantages that might be there. In this same situation, if we didn't have an aircraft carrier, I probably wouldn't go super hard in C until I started seeing the enemy, because the enemy, they're going to show themselves in an effort to take A or an effort to take B, and that's going to be a little bit of a clue. But as it stands, my team did a great job. We got an initial spawn. Oh my god, really? We got an initial spawn that was outstanding. Harugumo went straight for B, aggressively grabbed it. The enemy DD went for A, and I was able to free take C. Now, the friendly Harugumo, you can guess who are the ships that are going to die, and I have to compensate for their deaths. He chose to stay stationary, not use smoke, and stay broadside for the enemy attack rockets. It's an audacious attack rockets against the DD do a massive amount of damage. You do not want to take that lightly. Anytime an attack rocket is on the map as a DD, you need to be paying 100% attention. And I would honestly recommend be in motion or be in smoke before the attack rocket can even attempt an attack. And then try and have your bow in or your stern in so that you're always parallel to the course. That will minimize the potential damage by 2,000 or 3,000 on the attack run. It's harder to hit all of the rockets on a target that is going parallel to your attacking course rather than broadside to him. So make sure you do that. But the Harugumo, he lost 50% of his life in one attack run. He's gonna die. But conveniently, because I went C and the teammates kind of went A, they are sort of tanking the attention of the enemy, and the enemy, oh god, look at the air. What are you doing, aircraft? You're like paused in midair, and then you got a flak burst or whatever. Weirdest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen that before. He might have used the spam F key trick where you drop your dive bomb, or in this case, your carpet bomb, and you spam that F key through the immunity phase, and it continues on. And, you know, your squadron jumps from one part of the map to the other when they've been recovered. It could have just been a weird bug, but that's what happened there. But in this game, in this situation, I'm trying to take advantage of the fact that the Des Moines and the Zhao are trying to establish an island for protection against the friendlies who are north of A Point. We've got a Kremlin, and we've got a Minotaur, I believe. So both of these ships, honestly, they can weather that storm pretty good. Smoke plus the armor, It's going to be great. It's going to keep them in a position where I can take advantage of them. And I'm not really risking my ship to do this. You know, I am behind island and behind cover. There isn't really an easy way for the enemy. And nope, we lost the Conqueror because for whatever reason, teammates want to continue pushing into the enemy. This is rank. This isn't random. This isn't, you know, kill all. No cap, kill all. This is do whatever you can to win the game. And just like that, both the Harugumo and the Conqueror are dead. I'm on a flank, basically by myself, with an aircraft carrier. And I have to reposition. I have to weather this storm. But in order to do that, I've got to deal with this aircraft carrier. So, obviously, priority sector towards the target. Oh, man. If I would have turned just a little bit better, I wouldn't have taken that torpedo, but it happens. Nobody's perfect. You just want to try and mitigate the mistakes so that you have less than your enemy, honestly. But now that I know that the enemy aircraft carrier has done his run, it will give me an opportunity to openly fire from behind the island and use all the vision that's given to me, for as little as, honestly, is there sometimes, to get a little chip damage on the Kremlin. They see the advantage. They are going to push forward. A ship like the Des Moines is a great counter to enemy ships who want to push into their base or their teammates' base or anyone's base, because I have the perfect arc to fire over an island, use my friendly aircraft carrier, and thankfully there's an aircraft carrier. If there wasn't an aircraft carrier in this game, it would be even worse. But we still have a B point and a C point. As long as we keep two bases to their one and stall the game out, drag it out, we can benefit from the tick. Blindly rushing in and trying to finish the game because you feel like you've already won it is how ranked games and random games are decided in favor of the other team. You can't do that. You don't want to do that. You want to try and stay as long as possible doing damage to the enemy. You don't want to run in and allow every single enemy ship to engage you. That's how you lose the game. So I wanted to position myself near B, and you'll note that I have my radar ring, because I turned that on in my minimap. It is surrounding B point. There is not a single point on B where the enemy DD or otherwise can capture it without being spotted. And that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and keep him from fully capturing B. And we, in the process, kill the Kremlin because he's out in the open. He took a bad angle and they couldn't return fire. The enemy is trying to pursue the Minotaur and the Kremlin. They're doing a great job. I could not have been as successful as I have been in this game, and will be, without them. You need some tanks. You need some players that are willing to give up a little bit of their damage output to weather the storm of fire and floods and torpedoes and air and all that stuff. But note, the enemy is trying to capture B. I'm trying to back away so that I avoid the torpedoes, and I think I accidentally turned in. Now, I heard the torpedo, but I still see that middle torpedo moving forward. But clearly, the Harugumo got greedy, partially because some of his teammates, they're dying in the background. But the other part, he unnecessarily risky. There's nothing to do here. He doesn't need to be visible to me. All he has to do is capture B and play it slow. We still have plenty of time in the game. He could have easily have done that. But as it stands, he's broadside to a Des Moines with outstanding radar. I am actively trying to dodge out of the way of both the incoming shells, but also the enemy aircraft carrier. We successfully killed off the Harugumo, and now the game is very normalized. It could have easily been a terrible situation if he would have captured B, not gone around the island, and just waited. Because eventually, the Minotaur and the Kremlin, they're going to fall. They've taken a lot of damage to try and stall out the game, and they are the reason that we have a chance to win this game. If they weren't on that flank, if they were following behind me, and we were stuck in a situation where we didn't have crossfire, the enemy would probably have been more successful. That Kremlin would not have died. The Des Moines would not have taken extra damage. The Audacious would not be immediately in front of me, ready to die. All of these things happen because players, they feel urgency that really isn't there. You know, for whatever reason, losing a ship or two is enough to demoralize an entire team, to give up. But don't give up. It's not the end of the world. Take stock of what's going on, see if you can find something, and try and keep good spacing. I know aircraft carriers suck and they take away all that stuff, but you're not trying to never take damage. You're trying to win the game before the final point of damage hits your ship. And that's exactly what we've done as a team. And it's one that, honestly, felt really great. It felt really great to have players willing to tank a flank, open it up so that we and others could be able to punish the side and kill off any and all advantage that the enemy has, after which our teammates felt the urge to push in and die. I mean, we had 2 bases to the enemy's 1. We didn't have to push forward. And thankfully, we were able to win the game and prove that their strategy wasn't the correct one. It was the Minotaur, the Kremlin, myself, and the aircraft carrier that did a great job of keeping good spacing and focusing fire. Thanks for watching. If you would like to check out more of my content, you can click the most recent and the most relevant uploads. You can also subscribe to my channel. I do daily World of Warship videos, first impressions, how-tos, news articles, reviews. I stream at twitch.tv/Notser. Thank you, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.